professional cleaning secrets seniors swear by to keep their homes smelling amazing. Seniors who want a clean, fresh-smelling home don't need expensive tools or heavy effort. Just follow these 8 simple methods: fast, gentle, and surprisingly effective. The truth? Over 90% of older adults still don't know these powerful cleaning secrets. But after today, you will. Watch this video all the way to the end, because these tips could change how you care for your space and yourself. Before we begin, let us know in the comments, where are you watching from today? We'd love to hear from you. Number 1. Fresh air as daily medicine. Have you ever stepped into a room that has been closed up all day, where the air feels heavy, stale, almost as if time itself has stood still? That quiet discomfort is more than just unpleasant. It is a hidden weight pressing on the body and spirit. Modern science tells us that indoor air can be 2 to 5 times more polluted than outdoor air, carrying with it a mix of cooking smoke, dust, cleaning chemicals, and even tiny invisible particles that slowly wear down health. For older adults whose lungs are more delicate and whose bodies crave calm and balance, this stale air can quietly rob them of energy, clarity, and peace of mind. Yet across America, long before laboratories measured air quality, women instinctively knew the cure. In small towns and bustling cities alike, the day often began with the sound of a window sliding open, curtains lifting, and a cool morning breeze carrying the scent of grass, pine, or fresh rain into the house. That moment was not only about chasing away odors, it was a ritual of renewal, a way of saying the day has begun, let life in. Even now, many people in their 70s or 80s recall their mothers opening every window at dawn, letting the house breathe while breakfast sizzled on the stove. Science now confirms the wisdom of that tradition. Researchers at Harvard found that people in well-ventilated spaces showed a 30% improvement in memory and decision-making compared to those in stuffy rooms. Breathing fresh air delivers oxygen that nourishes the brain, sharpens thought, and steadies mood. For anyone entering the later chapters of life, this daily practice supports independence, mental clarity, and resilience. The body benefits as well. Clean air strengthens the heart, lowers blood pressure, and eases the lungs, making each breath feel lighter. For those with asthma or allergies, the simple act of opening a window can reduce flare-ups and bring real relief. There is also a gentler, more personal truth. Fresh air soothes the spirit. Studies in environmental psychology show that outdoor air and natural light lower stress hormones, bringing calm to both body and mind. Think of the difference between sitting in a closed, musty room and sitting near a window with a soft breeze. One drains energy, the other restores it. That shift is not just physical, it is deeply emotional. It carries memories of summer evenings on the porch, of autumn days with golden leaves rustling outside, of the simple joy of feeling connected to the wider world. The beauty of this secret is its safety and simplicity. No chemicals, no machines, no cost. Even in the chill of winter or the heat of summer, opening a window for 5 minutes allows the old air to leave and the new air to enter. The brief discomfort of temperature change fades quickly, but the feeling of freshness lingers long after. The invitation here is to make ventilation a daily ritual, woven gently into ordinary routines. Open the bedroom window while folding the quilt. Let the kitchen breathe while brewing coffee. In the evening, allow the living room a taste of night air before resting. These moments ask for little, yet they give back clarity, calm, and a sense of renewal. Every time a window is opened, the home becomes lighter, brighter, more alive. And every breath taken in that renewed space reminds us of a simple truth. Fresh air is not just about cleaning. It is about living. To let the home breathe is to let the spirit breathe, and that is one of the kindest gifts anyone can give to themselves each day. Number 2, caring for wood. On a quiet Sunday morning in a farmhouse in Pennsylvania, a grandmother once showed her granddaughter how to polish the old oak dining table. The wood had been there for 3 generations, bearing the marks of family dinners, holiday feasts, and countless cups of coffee. Wood remembers, she said softly, as she dipped a cloth into a simple mix of olive oil and lemon. With each slow circle, the table came alive again, glowing with warmth. For the child, it was not only a lesson in cleaning, it was a lesson in respect for the home. for the quiet rituals that give life meaning. Science agrees with what those older women knew in their bones. Natural wood, while beautiful, is porous. It absorbs odors, dust, and even bacteria over time. When wood is neglected, it not only loses its shine, it releases faint, musty smells that make a home feel tired. Yet when cared for regularly, wood can hold freshness and warmth for decades. Researchers at the University of British Columbia found that contact with natural wood surfaces reduces stress levels and promotes a sense of comfort, a reminder of why so many people feel calmer in spaces filled with natural materials. In other words, polishing wood is not just cosmetic. It is a way of caring for both the environment around us and the inner life within us. There is also a health dimension often overlooked. Commercial sprays may leave behind chemical residues that irritate lungs or skin, especially in older adults who are more sensitive to toxins. But natural care, using ingredients like olive oil, beeswax, or lemon juice, nourishes the wood and keeps the home safe. Lemon, for example, contains natural antibacterial properties, while olive oil provides a protective layer that prevents dust from settling as quickly. The scent released is not artificial but subtle and grounding, the kind of fragrance that whispers of cleanliness rather than shouts of perfume. Culturally, wood carries a special place in American history. From the rocking chairs on front porches in the South to the sturdy maple floors of New England homes, wood has been the silent witness of daily life. It has heard laughter, absorbed tears, and carried the rhythm of footsteps through generations. When we care for it, we honor those memories. Each time an older woman polished a table or buffed a banister, she was not just removing dust, she was reconnecting with her family's story and strengthening her own sense of belonging. For practical application, the process is gentle. Mix 2 tablespoons of olive oil with 1 tablespoon of lemon juice. Dip a soft cloth and rub in slow circles. The scent will lift the atmosphere while the shine restores dignity to the piece. Do this monthly or whenever the wood begins to look dull. It takes only a few minutes but transforms both the furniture and the room it inhabits. The deeper lesson here is that caring for wood is caring for ourselves. Just as the grain of the wood tells the story of its life, so do our habits tell the story of ours. By tending to wood with patience and natural care, we are reminded that beauty is preserved not by rushing, but by small, steady acts of attention. And each time we breathe in the gentle scent of polished wood, we breathe in reassurance, continuity, and peace. Number 3, the healing power of herbs. Why bother with rosemary or lavender when a can of air freshener works in seconds? This is the question that sparked a playful argument one summer afternoon in Springfield, Illinois. Mary Thompson, 74, was hanging small bundles of sage and lavender in her kitchen window when her grandson laughed and teased her. "Grandma, no one does that anymore. We have sprays for that." Mary only smiled, handed him the scissors, and said, "Cut this rosemary and smell it. Tell me if that spray makes you feel the same." The truth is, Mary carried with her a wisdom that modern science now confirms. Herbs are not outdated rituals, they are natural healers. In fact, studies at the University of Maryland Medical Center have shown that rosemary can improve memory and concentration, while lavender reduces anxiety and helps lower blood pressure. Chamomile has been used for centuries to relax the body, and today we know it influences brain chemistry in ways that prepare us for sleep. Unlike artificial sprays that mask odors with chemicals, herbs release essential oils that not only scent the air but also cleanse it with antibacterial and antifungal properties. Mary's Kitchen in Springfield tells this story vividly. The moment a visitor steps inside, they are met with the sharp green brightness of rosemary and the soft floral calm of lavender drifting from the windowsill. It is not overpowering, not chemical, but grounding and gentle. Her grandson, who once laughed, now admits that the smell of her kitchen makes him feel calmer the instant he walks in, like the house itself is breathing. This is what researchers call the Proust effect, the powerful way scents awaken memory and emotion. For Mary, the fragrance of herbs connects her to her mother's garden in the 1,950 seconds, where bundles of mint and thyme dried by the back door. For her grandson, it will someday remind him of summers in her kitchen, learning a lesson too subtle to see but too powerful to forget. There is also a cultural story here. In American households, from New England farmhouses to southern porches, herbs once hung from rafters, not as decoration but as daily necessity. They purified air before filters existed, freshened clothes before chemical detergents, and added flavor to food when resources were scarce. They carried both practicality and poetry, weaving health and comfort into the rhythm of home life. To bring herbs into the house today is to honor that legacy, reconnecting modern routines with the timeless wisdom of earlier generations. The practical steps are simple. A simmering pot of rosemary and lemon on the stove clears away cooking odors while lifting mood. Lavender sachets tucked into linen drawers keep fabrics fresh and improve sleep. Mint sprigs left in a bowl of water on a warm day cool the air with a bright, refreshing scent. These are not expensive tricks, but gentle habits that combine cleanliness with emotional comfort. Herbs are not relics of the past. They are nature's quiet medicine, offering freshness, calm, and continuity. Like Mary in her Springfield kitchen, anyone can choose to fill their home not with chemical clouds, but with living fragrances that soothe the body, awaken memory, and bring peace to the heart. In the end, the question is not whether herbs are old-fashioned. The question is whether we still recognize the timeless power of something so simple, natural, and profoundly human. Number 4, honoring textiles. It is a strange paradox that the softest, most comforting things in our homes are often the ones we neglect the most. Curtains that billow gently in the summer breeze, quilts stitched by a grandmother's hand, cushions that cradle weary shoulders after a long day. These textiles surround us with warmth, yet they silently absorb the odors, dust, and moisture we overlook. They look clean, but over time they carry the hidden weight of the air we breathe. This paradox came into sharp focus for Robert and Helen Miller of Asheville, North Carolina. Their living room looked spotless, polished floors shining and counters gleaming. Yet, whenever guests visited, there was a faint heaviness in the air, something that no candle or spray seemed able to erase. It was only when Helen decided to wash the curtains and air the quilts on the porch one sunny afternoon that the mystery lifted. The difference was remarkable. The house felt not just cleaner but lighter, as if a fog had cleared. Science explains what the Millers discovered. Fabrics act like sponges for airborne particles. They trap cooking smoke, pet dander, pollen, and even the scent of human skin. A study published in Indoor Air Journal revealed that fabrics retain odor-causing molecules far longer than hard surfaces, meaning that even spotless homes can carry stale smells hidden in textiles. For older adults, who may spend more hours indoors, these invisible pollutants also carry health risks, irritating lungs, and increasing allergy symptoms. Yet the solution is beautifully simple and deeply satisfying. Washing and sun-drying textiles is not only effective but therapeutic. Sunlight, with its natural ultraviolet rays, breaks down bacteria and odor molecules, leaving behind a fragrance no detergent can replicate. In fact, researchers at the University of Copenhagen found that fabrics dried outdoors contain fewer bacteria than those dried indoors, a natural cleansing process gifted by the sun and wind. For Helen Miller, bringing in freshly sun-warmed curtains felt like carrying a piece of the sky back into her home. There is also a cultural layer to this ritual. In mid-century America, it was common to see rows of laundry flapping in the yard, quilts draped across fences, and pillows set out on porches to breathe. These were not chores done in haste, but rhythms of life, moments when women cared for both their homes and themselves. The smell of sun-dried sheets became a scent of safety, comfort, and belonging, a sensory memory that many older Americans still recall with tenderness. The action required today is not complicated. Once every season, wash the curtains, pillow covers, and quilts. If possible, let them dry outdoors, even for an hour, to capture that unique freshness. If weather or mobility does not allow, airing them near an open window or using a gentle fabric refresher with natural ingredients can still bring renewal. The goal is not perfection but presence, giving attention to the quiet corners of the home that hold more than dust, they hold memory. The paradox dissolves when we remember that the fabrics we neglect are also the ones closest to us, touching our skin, cradling our rest, shaping the atmosphere we live in. To honor textiles is to honor comfort itself, to acknowledge that cleanliness is not only about what we see, but also about what we feel and breathe. In caring for these soft companions, we bring back freshness, dignity, and the quiet joy of a home that truly breathes with us. Number 5, the ritual of tea steam. In a small cottage outside Portland, Oregon, steam rises gently from a pot on the stove. The kitchen is quiet except for the soft bubbling of water infused with orange peel, cinnamon, and chamomile. Sunlight filters through the window, catching the tendrils of steam as they curl upward, carrying with them a fragrance that fills every corner of the room. For Margaret Evans, 78, this simple ritual is more than housekeeping. It is a daily meditation, a way to steady the heart and remind herself that peace can be created with nothing more than water and herbs. Guests who step inside often pause, breathe deeply, and smile, surprised by how quickly the scent shifts their mood. Across the country, countless older women have practiced this ritual in their own ways. A retired schoolteacher in Vermont simmers apple peel and nutmeg on autumn afternoons, turning her home into a space that feels like a permanent harvest celebration. A widow in Texas keeps a slow cooker filled with mint and ginger in the spring, saying it makes the air feel alive again. These are not extravagant practices. They are gentle, thoughtful acts that prove comfort can be made out of the simplest things at hand. Science supports what these women already know. Research published in Frontiers in Psychology found that pleasant natural scents such as cinnamon and citrus reduce stress, improve mood, and even increase social connection by making people more open and positive in conversation. The warm steam itself plays an important role as well. In dry winter months, it gently humidifies the air, easing the strain on lungs and skin. Doctors at the Mayo Clinic note that warm, moist air helps relieve congestion, supports breathing, and lowers the risk of respiratory irritation common among older adults. What seems like a small household trick is, in fact, an investment in both physical health and emotional well-being. There is also something profoundly symbolic about the ritual. Steam is visible but fleeting, rising and disappearing before the eyes, much like the moments of daily life. By savoring it, by breathing it in, one learns to appreciate the present. This act teaches patience, grounding, and the quiet joy of ordinary beauty. For many in their later years, such rituals become anchors, offering stability and continuity in a world that often feels too fast and uncertain. Practicing the ritual is simple. Fill a pot with water, add orange peels, a cinnamon stick, a few sprigs of rosemary, or a handful of mint, and let it simmer on low heat. Allow the scent to wander through the house. If a stove feels unsafe or inconvenient, a slow cooker works just as well. The key is consistency. By making it part of a daily or weekly rhythm, the house takes on a signature fragrance of warmth and welcome, one that family and friends will forever associate with comfort. Is that creating a healthy, fragrant home does not require expensive products. It requires intention. The ritual of tea steam is not about covering up what is wrong, but about creating something new, positive, and life-giving. Each pot of simmering herbs is a small celebration of home, a reminder that peace and comfort are not found on a store shelf, but in the mindful acts we choose to repeat. In the rising steam, one can find not only fragrance, but also healing, memory, and hope. Number 6, deep cleaning carpets. Your carpet is dirtier than your toilet seat. That shocking statement, often repeated by cleaning professionals, startles most people the first time they hear it, yet science supports it. Carpets, no matter how soft or beautiful, are quiet collectors of everything that passes through daily life: dust, pollen, pet dander, food crumbs, spilled drinks, and even microscopic skin cells. Unlike hard floors, where dirt is visible and quickly wiped away, carpets hide it deep within their fibers, creating an illusion of cleanliness while quietly holding onto odors and allergens. This truth came as a revelation to Harold and Susan James, a retired couple in Denver, Colorado. Their living room looked spotless. They vacuumed every week and prided themselves on keeping a tidy home. But Susan often noticed a faint mustiness, especially in the evenings when windows were closed. After their daughter insisted they rented a carpet cleaner for the weekend, what came out of the water tank shocked them: a murky gray liquid filled with dirt that had been trapped for years. Susan later described the experience as both horrifying and liberating. The carpet looked brighter, smelled fresher, and for the first time in months, she no longer felt congested at night. Health experts confirm the importance of this practice. A study from the American Lung Association warns that carpets can harbor allergens and bacteria that irritate the respiratory system, particularly in older adults. Regular vacuuming is not enough because many particles cling to fibers too deeply. Deep cleaning, using hot water extraction or steam, removes those hidden contaminants and restores freshness at a level unseen by the naked eye. For those with asthma or allergies, the difference can be life-changing. There is also a psychological impact worth noting. Clean carpets not only improve the air, but also influence how the entire home feels. A study from Princeton University found that cluttered or dirty environments increase stress and reduce focus. Though carpets may not look dirty, the odors they release create a subtle but constant sense of heaviness. Once cleaned, the room feels lighter, brighter, and more welcoming. Guests notice it, but more importantly, the people living there feel an internal shift as if their own spirits have been refreshed. Deep cleaning does not have to be burdensome or expensive. Many hardware stores offer carpet cleaner rentals for a modest fee. Some families invest in their own machines, using them twice a year in spring and fall. Professionals can also be hired for those who prefer not to handle the task themselves. Adding a small amount of white vinegar to the rinse cycle provides a natural deodorizing effect without leaving behind artificial scents. The process takes effort, yes, but the reward is not just visual. It is the peace of mind that comes from knowing the very ground beneath your feet is truly clean. Carpets, like memories, hold what we cannot always see. Ignoring them allows the past to weigh heavily on the present. Caring for them releases what no longer serves us, creating space for freshness and renewal. Just as Harold and Susan discovered, the act of deep cleaning is both practical and symbolic. It is a way of honoring the home, caring for health, and reclaiming the lightness of spirit that every person deserves. Number 7, cultivating a scent signature. What is the first thing that greets you when you walk into a home? The sight of furniture, the sound of voices, or the fragrance that lingers quietly in the air? For most people, it is scent. Long before words are spoken or eyes adjust to the surroundings, the nose tells a story. Some homes smell of cinnamon and vanilla, others of pine and fresh laundry. These fragrances do more than please the senses. They create an atmosphere that speaks to identity, safety, and belonging. Take the example of Eleanor White, a 76-year-old retired librarian from Charleston, South Carolina. For decades, her home has carried the faint, sweet aroma of vanilla. She began the tradition in the 1,960 seconds by adding a drop of vanilla extract to her mop water, and it became her quiet signature. Neighbors often joked they could tell Eleanor's door was opened simply by the way her hallway smelled. Her grandchildren, now adults, still say that whenever they catch the scent of vanilla in a bakery or cafe, they are instantly transported back to her kitchen. Sitting at the table while she told stories from family history, that subtle fragrance became part of her legacy, a sensory reminder of comfort and love. Science confirms the power of this practice. A study published in Chemical Senses showed that subtle, consistent scents create strong emotional associations in the brain, far more lasting than visual or auditory cues. Unlike overpowering sprays that fade or even irritate, gentle natural scents improve mood and lower stress without overwhelming the senses. For older adults, cultivating a personal scent signature can be both grounding and uplifting, offering stability in an ever-changing world. Culturally, this habit has deep American roots. In the South, lemon and cedar were once used to clean floors, leaving homes bright and invigorating. In New England, pine sprigs were brought inside during winter, carrying with them the freshness of forests when the world outside was frozen. These traditions were not only practical but also symbolic, tying families to their environment and giving homes a fragrance that whispered of heritage. The beauty of a scent signature is its simplicity. A cotton ball with a drop of lavender oil tucked behind a curtain, a single candle burned for an hour in the evening, or a sprig of rosemary placed in a vase can all serve as quiet emblems of identity. The key is not intensity but consistency. Over time, the chosen scent becomes inseparable from the feeling of home. It greets loved ones as they arrive and remains in memory long after they leave. A scent signature is not about impressing guests, but about creating a space that feels deeply personal and peaceful. By choosing one or two fragrances and weaving them consistently into daily life, a person builds a sensory identity for the home. For Eleanor, it was vanilla. For others, it may be lavender, pine, or citrus. Whatever the choice, it becomes a whisper of comfort, a reminder that home is not only where we live, but also what we carry with us in memory. Number 8, power of rhythm. There is something deeply life-giving about rhythm. Just as the ocean waves rise and fall, just as the heart beats in steady measure, so too do our homes flourish when cared for with gentle consistency. The energy of daily rituals, small repeated acts of attention, creates an atmosphere of peace that no last-minute rush can ever replace. A home cared for in rhythm does not surprise its keeper with heaviness or stale air. Instead, it greets each day with quiet readiness, a reflection of the steady hands and loving spirit that guide it. Consider the life of Thomas and Linda Carter in Richmond, Virginia. In their 70s, they found joy not in grand gestures of cleaning, but in the simple habits they practiced together. Each morning, Linda would open the kitchen window while making oatmeal, letting in the crisp air of dawn. Thomas would empty the trash, even if it was only half full, saying, "Better to prevent than to chase." In the afternoons, they fluffed the cushions, checked the laundry, and occasionally simmered cloves and orange peel on the stove. These acts took only minutes, but they created a rhythm that made their home always feel light, fresh, and welcoming. Friends often remarked, "It feels so good just to be here." The secret was not effort, but consistency, a living rhythm woven into daily life. Science affirms the power of such routines. Psychologists at Duke University found that nearly 45% of daily actions are habitual, meaning they run on autopilot. When those habits are positive, like airing out rooms, tidying fabrics, or tending to hidden corners, they free the mind from stress and create a sense of stability. This is especially vital for older adults, as routines reduce anxiety, strengthen memory, and provide a structure that supports independence. Neuroscience also shows that predictable, healthy rhythms lower cortisol, the stress hormone, while enhancing serotonin, the chemical linked to well-being. Simply put, consistency builds calm. The cultural history of America also speaks to this truth. In earlier generations, households were shaped by rhythms. Monday was laundry day, Tuesday for mending, Friday for baking. These were not rigid rules, but guiding patterns that gave life order and families comfort. The predictability itself was soothing. When homes are cared for with rhythm today, we continue that legacy, carrying forward a sense of stability in a world often marked by change. Do not wait for company to arrive or for odors to build. Instead, create a gentle checklist that becomes second nature. Crack a window each morning, clear dishes before bed, simmer herbs when the air feels heavy, and straighten cushions or blankets before resting. These acts may seem small, yet their impact is profound. They protect health, calm the spirit, and create a home that always feels prepared. Is that rhythm is not about perfection, but about presence. By repeating simple habits with care, a person affirms each day that their home matters, their health matters, and their peace matters. Just as a steady heartbeat sustains life, steady rhythms sustain a home. And in those rhythms lies a quiet truth. A well-tended space does more than look clean or smell fresh. It becomes a sanctuary where life itself feels lighter, steadier, and beautifully whole. Every home has a soul, and that soul is shaped by the way we care for it. These 8 secrets are not simply tips for keeping a house fresh. They are wisdom distilled from generations of lived experience, now confirmed by science, psychology, and medicine. Opening a window becomes more than moving air. It becomes a breath of renewal for the lungs, the mind, and the heart. Polishing wood is not merely shining a table. It is honoring memory, connection, and continuity. Herbs hanging in a kitchen are not decoration. They are nature's gentle medicine, soothing stress and awakening memory. Fabrics, When washed and dried in the sun, carry back into the home the scent of light itself. Steam rising from a pot of citrus and cinnamon is not only fragrance, it is therapy, easing breath and calming spirit. Clean carpets give more than beauty, they offer health and peace of mind. A signature scent is not indulgence, it is identity, grounding loved ones in belonging. And rhythm, above all, transforms chores into rituals of care, creating a steady heartbeat that makes a home feel safe and alive. These stories from Margaret in Oregon with her pot of chamomile, to Eleanor in South Carolina with her quiet vanilla, to Mary in Illinois teaching her grandson the power of herbs remind us that the smallest habits hold the deepest meaning. They show us that health and happiness are not always found in big changes or expensive tools, but in the gentle choices we repeat each day. Science tells us these habits lower stress, improve cognition, protect the lungs, and steady the heart. Life tells us they give comfort, memory, and hope. The lesson is simple. When we care for our homes with love, we care for ourselves. Every breath of fresh air, every soft fragrance, every act of rhythm is a gift of well-being. The question is, which of these small rituals will you begin today? I invite you to share in the comments which fragrance or memory makes your home feel most alive. Your words may inspire someone else's journey. And if you have not yet subscribed to our channel, subscribe right now so you never miss the next story, the next lesson, the next spark of inspiration that can bring more light and health into your life. Thank you for watching. Wishing you a new day filled with peace, joy, and the quiet fragrance of a home that truly loves you back.